Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Support for these morning sessions, and good morning everybody, good evening night owls, and good morning to the early birds. So I'm very happy to be back here practicing together again this week after a week away over Easter. I hope you all have been having a good restful Easter weekend. And rainy morning here in the edge of the Chilterns outside Oxford, but the rain is actually pretty welcome, and I see some of you are in areas where that's the same thing. So it makes me happy to see you all in the chat, even though I can't actually see you in person. I feel your presence, and it's lovely to feel that spread of this really international Sangha as well. So thank you for showing up. And this week we're going to continue building on the theme of a couple of weeks ago. And there was an intentional kind of pun in my title for the week of being still here, still now. I love exploring these simple words that are actually, the more we dig into them, the more mysterious in our experience. Great topic for meditators to be interested in. So part of the inspiration or the play of this title, or this idea of here and now, some of you may have a long time ago or more recently encountered Ram Dass's famous book, Be Here Now, or Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, both of which books I've enjoyed at certain times in the past. And John Kabat-Zinn's framing of mindfulness as the awareness that emerges when we pay attention in particular ways in the present moment. And then here we are now, this morning, afternoon, evening, as it is for you, different time zones, different times of day, and still it's now. And a couple of weeks ago, I shared these two famous poems from the early Buddhist texts about an auspicious day or a well-spent day, where the Buddha says that neither chasing the past nor chasing the future, but paying insightful attention to what's happening now. This is how we make a day a well-spent day or an auspicious day. And then another very similar verse that maybe, or just to backtrack a little bit with this paying this, observing with insight what's currently happening as it's happening. That it's the present moment is happening like this. It's arising like this. And investigating, well, what does like this mean, in fact? And then the second verse that talks about not clinging to the past, not clinging to the future, and also, very interestingly, not clinging to the present. It says when we don't cling to the past, when we don't cling to the future, when we don't even cling to the present, then we can go about from place to place at peace. So I've always found these two teachings really fascinating. So last time we were together, we also investigated a little bit what is the present moment. What is the present moment right now for us? Or looked at another way, what tells you you're here right now? Maybe just take a moment to re-land together in that question. What tells us we're here now? And I feel the cushion and the mat that I'm sitting on. I see my screen in front of me, the space around me in my room, and the rain on the window pane. A few little sounds inside, outside. And this is giving me the sense of being here. So already that question connects us with our immediate sensory experience. And then looked at whether we see now as being the point on this progression of time from past to future, and now is just this point of intersection, or whether now is the space that includes everything, even our ideas about time. This may be a little bit much for 7:15 in the morning, or whatever time it is for you, but just planting some seeds of inquiry. And if time is a space, or if now is a space rather, how big is it? So we also might notice that our experience of the present moment is a flow. And some of you might know the title of Ajahn Chah, the book about Ajahn Chah, my teacher's teacher of many of my teachers, called Still Flowing Water. And he had this analogy of the awake mind being like still flowing water. So how can water be both still and flowing? It's a kind of paradox. Yeah. So when we cling to things, the flow gets jammed up, the flow of experiencing. But there's a way of being still and peaceful in the flow. And so that's what I'd like to invite as an orientation for today's practice and as a foundation for our week of practice together, to explore this sense of staying steady in the stream of experience. And this is really useful. We want to stay steady in the stream of experience, because it's when we're steady that we can see more clearly, more insightfully what's happening. It's a bit like trying to see something through the lens of a camera. And if you're standing on the deck of a ship that's blowing in a gale and trying to focus through the lens of your camera, you can't do that very effectively. But if you come ashore or the ship is resting at anchor in still water and you put your camera on a tripod and you're not shaking it around, you will have a much clearer view through that lens, and our minds are somewhat the same. So we're going to practice steadying ourselves in order to see the dance, the rising and falling, or the flow of phenomena as it happens, as they happen. And I even think for me, this sense of now as a space in awareness kind of invites a slightly different perspective on the passing of phenomena through time. Again, rather than seeing a kind of a linear story flowing from past to future, the sense of experiences as being things that rise and fall within the space. And then we can explore as the week goes on what that might reveal to us about the nature of experience. But for this morning, I just want to emphasize this, finding the stillness and the steadiness within the flow. And to do that, it's helpful to anchor ourselves in various ways. The body, resting attention with the body helps connect us to here. And it also kind of grounds, it gives us ground, the stability of ground. And that may for you be the primary way that you rest your attention. And that's great. So we have options. And sometimes we need to, or we want to toggle a little bit between them. So finding the ground through the body. And then sound. So just taking a moment to check in with my soundscape. For me, that gives a sense of spaciousness, because sounds have we recognize the distance of different sounds, or the approximate distances of different sounds. That reminds us of a sense of inner space. And then the breath. The breath that has this steady rhythm and potentially very soothing, nourishing quality to it. So the breath is a classic anchor for meditation. And I think it's also a useful frame, if you like, for exploring here and now. So, again, what is a breath? Beautiful, mysterious question to contemplate in real time in our experience. Is it a package of air, a certain volume of air? Is it a certain space? How does it have a size? Or is it also, it's also a measure of time, the time it takes for one in-breath to happen, the time it takes for one out-breath to happen. And it repeats itself. And so it can be helpful. This is something I'm enjoying using in my own meditation these days, and therefore wanted to share with you, to kind of take an in-breath or an out-breath as the frame for what I'm attending to in that moment. So with an in-breath, a world of experiences arises. With an out-breath, we let that world of experience go again. with the next in-breath, another world of experiences arises. With the out-breath, we can let them go again. And it almost doesn't matter so much what those experiences are, at least to me, when I make that the container, if you like. We can explore this for ourselves, but it's when I get hooked on a current of experience and I lose that frame of the breath, then I find myself swept away. But it's remarkable what arises within the frame of one in-breath. I'm sure you've noticed this in your own practice. Like, so many different things can happen, be experienced, be felt within just this one breath. So, how long is that breath in terms of what it contains? Yeah. So our mindfulness of breathing, as it's traditionally called, becomes a little less being mindful of the breath than being mindful with the breath or alongside the breath, or even breath by breath. And an opportunity to receive the world and to let it go. And to receive the world and let it go. And the last thing I say before we just jump in and do this is to also, of course, to be doing it with care about how we receive the world and how we let it go. So our breath can be a soothing, calming, nurturing, refreshing breath. And the way that we breathe affects the way that we feel. The way that we breathe also is an indicator. So it's an indicator, barometer of, are we caught up or are we relaxed, and so on. And if, as we play with this, if you find that you're over focused on the breath, then it's time to, in the sense that the amount of attention, whatever that is that you're giving to your breath, is making you more tight or more tense, or then you just back off and you find the ground with the body, you find the space with the sounds, or of course doing whatever practice supports you for our 25 minutes of meditation together now. So if you're not already installed in a comfortable meditative posture, take a moment to do that, whatever works for your body and heart and mind at this time. And the eyes can softly close or open again as what supports you to be wakefully present in a relaxed manner. Maybe taking a deeper breath in as you begin your practice, and on your exhale, resting down back into the ground. When we're upright, that resting into the ground can also give us a sense of, from there we can open up into the space, finding our uprightness, our wakefulness, our alertness in a relaxed way. Just feeling the felt sense of the body and the posture that you're in, allowing it to make any little micro adjustments or macro adjustments till you feel yourself balanced with as much ease as possible. So establishing our ground, and then widening the attention around the body to also acknowledge, to recognize the space around you, the soundscape. If the eyes are open, the lightscape. There's no need to gaze around or go looking for sounds, but just to make the space of this moment big enough to include, to receive sounds, light. Even when the eyes are closed, there's some sense of light. And then within this space, there are different currents and eddies, ripples of sensation in the field, the area of space that we call our body. The area of denser energy, if you like, that we call our body. Within that, the rising and the falling, the flow of the body breathing. And if it's of interest to you, it's exploring this sense of all we need to do in the meditation is to be here for this in-breath, for this out-breath. With as much kindness curiosity or interest as possible. With as much care as possible. And it's completely natural that the mind will continue to live its life and thoughts will arise in this space. Can we notice the thought as something that's arising in this moment and just let it be a part of this moment and let it come and go in its own time? And rather than have the thought be the thing that provides the through line in the current of our experience, let this rising and falling of the breath be the thing that connects one moment to the next rather than the thought. So we sustain as best we can this view, this perspective, this Dharma perspective of a thought as being an event in the present moment. We're feeling the permission to really inhabit fully each moment, each breath. No hurry to go anywhere else, to do anything. And with each new breath, there's this very, very natural letting go of all that came with the breath before. And you might notice for yourself in experience, how is there a sense of stillness? And how is there a sense of flow? Both things are present in their own way. As we arrive towards the end of our sitting for this morning, you might just feel the body and the breath again. And the space of awareness. It includes the sounds around us. It includes the sense of each other's presence, reminding us of the vastness of this world. And let that space be filled with a sense of warmth and goodwill. As if you could offer it a smile from your center. And then that warmth and goodwill could include everyone we notice in that space, and also those we don't notice. As we share whatever goodness arises from our meditation for the welfare of all beings.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.